Yo, what is up? My name is Darcy. Welcome to Off the Growth. Here we speak about many things, and today's topic is about another Colombian job teaching English in Colombia. This one is nice because you can do this one remote, you can do this one hybrid, in person, whatever you want. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of rundown. I work for this company. I don't work for this company anymore. So we're gonna get started. Like that, press that like button, press that comment button. Let me know what you think. Give your thoughts. Maybe it's for you. Okay, so this company is called Profesores Extranjeros. Okay, how did I find this job? Okay, I told you like in the last video. Go ahead, look at my channel, mingahouse.com. They found this job for me. Now again, could I have found this job? Could I have found this job without Minga House? I'm sure I could have. It's definitely possible. But they helped me find this job. So if you don't know, Minga House is a recruitment website in Colombia. It's legit. It's free. They're gonna have options in most cities. Some aren't gonna be well paid, but some are. They have a lot of options in smaller cities. So if you're looking for a unique experience, go ahead, try it, get your foot in the door. Don't be afraid to, go to a smaller city. You get paid a little bit better. Um, but I was in Cali, and the lucky thing about me was that this company wasn't so settled down in Cali. So they didn't have many employees in Cali. This company is really based in Bogota. Most companies are based in Bogota. And they had a lot of people there. They had some people in Medellin also. But they are expanding, they're growing. So, lucky me, after I had my other job at American Schoolway, I was like, okay, I'm ready to move up. I'm ready to do bigger, better things. Start looking for a job, and this one popped up. So I'm extremely grateful because I almost didn't take it. I thought it was too good to be true. I was like, what? It sounds suspicious. And I'm gonna tell you why it sounded suspicious. But yeah, first off, Minga House, go there. Okay, so they're telling me, oh, this job can be remote, this job can be hybrid, whatever you prefer. I'm like, okay, I'm listening. They're like, okay, like, you can make this much money. And the money they're telling me, I'm like, okay, I'm listening. Is this true? There's no way it's true, bro. Like, it must be dreaming. And so basically, this is a company where they give you clients. Okay, so boom, for example, if I'm in Cali, I live in Cali, they can give me clients, and I have to either go to their house, go to the office, go somewhere, or I could teach remote, teach from my computer, teach from home. Okay? And the thing about this company is they are a business type of English. They teach professionals. That is their motto, really. They're more focused on businesses, offices, people who want to learn business English, people who want to improve their English in the workplace, who want to just um, you know, have some type of leverage in the office. Obviously they teach everyone, many clients, but those are the clients they mostly want to attract and they mostly want to teach. Okay, so disclaimer, this is just my opinion. I don't work for them anymore. What else I need to say? I don't know what else I need to say, but that's the disclaimer. All right, so come at me all you want, but this is just give my opinion and what I think. And yeah, so I started working for this company, and I found it to be amazing. As I'm gonna say, this job is for someone who is an experienced teacher. Not so experienced, but if you've never taught before, I wouldn't recommend this job because this is the catch. So obviously, yes, the money. I'm gonna talk about the money later. the money they told me, I was like, okay, this sounds nice. You get clients, you can do it in person, online. Okay, amazing. I love being hybrid. And so, the catch is that with this company, you receive the client, they give you the client, and that's all they do. Okay, so this means it's up to you to create the class. It's up to you to find the resources. It's up to you to develop a plan. You do all the planning. Their job is to find you the client, and your job is to produce results with whatever resources you have, whether it's online, from the past, creating. Okay, so for me, I am experienced teacher, but it still was extremely challenging because as you have each client, you don't know what their needs are. They have very specific needs. Maybe they need specific business language. Maybe they want to learn grammar for about this topic, and you have to create it. If you don't have the resources yet, you have to create it. So I was on Canvas every day, creating materials, trying to use resources, planning a lot. And in the beginning, it was stressful, but I will say, you know, once I made resources, once I made materials, I was like, okay, awesome. I will become better and I can reuse the stuff that I make, right? And of course, obviously, I had resources from before, but as you know, sometimes it's not always going to work with a certain client, okay? So, yes, Professor Extranjeros is legit, it's real. So, when I first started working for them, I worked for them for about a year, and it really is a great job. Dare I say, it's probably the best teaching job in Colombia. Um, I will say though, there is no health insurance because you get paid per hour, per class type of deal. So I did not have health insurance. Does this bother me? It didn't bother me. It might bother other people who have other health, needs, you know, to make them feel better, help them with anxiety, those type of things. But I was like, I don't need health insurance. If something happens, it is what it is. Like it's meant to be. So I will say, the money, the payments you guys are asking, you get paid once a month, straight to your bank account. And the in-person classes, they are about. Let me see. So you know this in Colombia, they increase every year, like maybe, mm, like the salaries increase every year in Colombia, not by a lot, but like maybe 5%. It depends. So as of right now, February 2026, in-person classes are 66 Colombian pesos. So I don't know how much that is in dollars. Maybe I'll put it up here. I don't know. Probably won't, but usually the in-person classes are 2 hours. Unless you communicate with the client, they want 1 hour, hour and a half. The goal is to have 2 hours. And you might ask why. Well, most times you're going to be going to their house, going to the office. So sometimes it's kind of worth it to go for 2 hours, because if you do 1 hour, you might be 5 minutes late, 5 minutes early. They might not. So usually the in-person classes are 2 hours, which is nice because that means you are. It's worth it. It's worth it if you're gonna go drive somewhere and stay there for 2 hours, and as to going there for only 1 hour and then coming back. Like it's not, you know. So most of my classes that were in person were for 2 hours, and it was nice. I have all good things to say about the clients, the people. It's just like any academy, any teaching job. You meet many different types of people. You laugh, you have fun, you create conversation, you develop a nice connection. So if you have good people skills, this is a great opportunity for you. If you love to talk, to meet new people, it's a great way. And just to help people on their journey. And I think that's really what made this job fun. Meeting all these new types of people, connecting, laughing, and learning new ways to teach also. So yeah, online, I mean, in person is 66. Online is 52 Colombian pesos. So online is usually 1 hour, and obviously it makes sense why it's kind of a little bit of a dip because you're just doing it from your computer, you know, from your house, virtual. So it's not gonna be as much. But I will say, like, so with in person and online, I was mostly hybrid most of the time. People can do in person, like you can do this part time, you can do this full time. Um, each month is going to look different. You know, this is a freelance job, so it really depends on you. Also, um, how loyal are your clients, and that depends on you. How well are you teaching? How well are they receiving the class? How happy are they with the class? Are they satisfied? Do they have complaints? Because if they don't, they might ask to transfer to another teacher, which is 100% fair. So understand that it really depends on you how much you want to make, how much work do you want to work for, how much you want to grind. I started in January and I didn't really receive, I mean, I would say March, February, I got hired end of January, February I started to get some clients. And then March I was like, okay, this is nice. I can pay my rent, I can go out, and I started getting paid probably around, I guess I should say numbers, huh? I got paid like, I would say 4.5 million Colombian pesos to 5.5 million Colombian pesos. That was like my average for most of the time I was working for this company. And in Cali, hey, and my rent was kind of expensive too. So I was extremely happy, extremely grateful, extremely blessed. Felt like I was given, it was worth it. So um, it's definitely doable. It's definitely possible. Be careful. I'll be honest. I definitely got burnt out near the end because I was just trying to see how much I could teach, how much I could go for. But it's a great job, and the money is worth it. It's definitely one of the better jobs in Colombia. So I definitely think if you have a chance, you want to test out your leadership skills. You want to test out how far you can go, how much you can move that needle. I definitely recommend it. I felt extremely well paid for this. Obviously, a lot of the work I had to do on my own, and at the end, I did end up finding resources. Now the company, they have a book, more resources to help you teach, which is amazing. And it just goes to show you like how bad do you want it. Look, if you need help with resources, look online. There's tons of resources online. AI, ChatGPT, give you ideas. There's websites, ESL, and that is what makes a class easier. Sometimes they just also want conversation. So if you're a great person who has conversation, just have conversation and teach them through that way. That's also kind of how their methodology is, through conversation, not so much like a grammar class. And that's what people want. We don't want grammar classes. All right. So yes, this is kind of the video. Like that's really it. This job is amazing for Colombia. They're branching out. So they're in Colombia, Medellin, Bogota, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. So look for this website, contact some people. They'll reach out to you. Obviously, you have to understand sometimes you're not going to get paid a lot each month. For example, December, everyone's on vacation. January, they're still on vacation. So you got to figure out a way to either have some money saved up or not. So for me, it was difficult because that was an issue. Yeah, people were on vacation. They don't want to have class in December or January. So take that into account. But as a freelance job, that should not be surprising to you. Okay. So hopefully this job opportunity helps you guys. Like I said, Colombia is kind of underrated. There's many jobs you can do there that's full time, which is really nice. And don't be afraid to try it. What's the worst that could happen? You find a good job, you find good people who could inspire you. Many of my students inspired me. I was so curious to learn about their job, learn about what they did, and it was incredible. So take that time, try it out. Let me know what you think. And yeah, dang, 15 minutes. All right, that's all I got for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think.